a very common German name, Jürgen.
Jürgen, yes.
Jürgen Schwanitz.
One is pretty good. Yep.
Jürgen Schwanitz, who comes to us from ACT Computers. We have some computer-minded people here, but again, most importantly, is the idea that you want to expand your mind in case you know someone, etc. All right, and let's hear what he has to say and ask him questions, and we'll go from there. All right.
Wonderful. Well, thank you for inviting me. I'm actually quite local. I went to Vero Beach Senior High School in '94, so I've been here since 1990 in America. I immigrated from Germany. So, spreche mal Deutsch, speak German. But we started our IT company, my father and I, together in 1994. Quite before you were born, right? So anyway, I was going to talk to you about why I went in that field, and also how to run the business, and what to look forward to if you're going to do it. Okay. And I'm sure here, who's here interested in the IT technology field? Kira? Kinda. Okay. As a hobby, and then I always.
But everyone needs to know about it, at least to a degree.
Yes.
Yesterday, I opened up my computer. I wanted to open up my Microsoft Office package on my laptop, and it said, "We can't continue unless you renew your Microsoft subscription."
Oh, yeah.
I was like, crap. All right, and it's
All
just,
comes up.
yeah. So what an incredible business model. I don't know if you guys know this, but it used to be many years ago, it was already part of the package. Now, Microsoft's so smart, they make you pay for it every year, and you're kind of stuck.
Yes, you are.
Yeah.
Yep, your question, right?
So I'm not interested in IT as a career, but at my office, I'm not the official IT person. We don't really have one that's on site,
Yeah.
but I do deal with fixing various computers, and
Good.
I have a little bit of experience of
That's wonderful.
dealing with a really crummy one.
Well, that's good to hear, because quite honestly, in the tech industry, there aren't many females. We've had 2 women working for us in the past, and sadly, that's all it was, and we always were. So that's a good thing to be in, really, it's great. So anyway, Jürgen with ACT Computers, we're actually located in the Kmart Plaza. If you guys know where that is, by Majestic, and we've been doing this for a long time. When I started with computers, I was 6 years old, and my first computer was Commodore. I guess seen one before. Little tiny box with a tape drive. It took 10 minutes to load anything, if it loaded something, and then you had to start over. And then what came on the screen was kind of a bunch of blocks, and you were like, "Oh my God, that's amazing! How can this thing do this stuff?" You know. And nowadays we have these amazing graphics. Everything's like high quality sound and everything. But for me, myself, I like the old stuff. It seems to be a little cooler. It has to be more fun back then for some reason. But anyway, I started early, and the reason why I started actually is kind of a funny story. I was not very good in spelling, so my mom thought, "Hey, computers are coming out. I'm buying a computer. I'd rather play with my Legos, but got a computer now. Gotta learn how to spell." So I started typing my school stuff, and then I got a printer, a little tiny old printer, very slow, and then I started getting better at spelling. And then I thought, you know what? This is kind of fun. You can do things, you can create things, you can write programs. And also my father worked in the industry, not exactly computers, but he was in the industry selling tables, typewriters, everything that goes in an office. And he would bring home a whole bunch of old stuff from old computers from the 70s and 80s, and I took it apart and put it back together and said, "Hey, that's interesting, None of it worked, but it was interesting to me." And then when I actually went and had my better computers, more and more different computers, upgraded to different levels, I started, programming. I learned assembly, C++, a couple other languages, and I thought I'd first go into that, because at that time that was the hot thing, my dad become a programmer. Well, we moved to America in the 90s, and out of necessity, right after high school, I thought, you know what, I'm gonna have to make some money. first thing I did, I started working for a local IT company for about a year. They went under. And then I started my own business out of my own room in my house. I bought a cheap bench from Sam's Club. I started contacting all the customers I knew. Said, hey, this is your friendly IT guy from Germany, can I help you? And I went to their house and didn't have a driver's license, nothing. And I started fixing things, started building up. Then we finally got our first location, which was only 500 square foot, very tiny place. We're lucky we got the rent because we didn't have any funding for that. And we started slowly growing from 500 square foot now to 3,500 square foot. At this time, we have 9 technicians and we're looking for more people. That's why I'm here mainly, to tell people to get into the industry because it's growing and there's good money in it. You can make a good living on this. It's not going to go away, that's for sure. It's going to get more complicated for guys like me to make all this stuff work because the end user has a much easier experience. Back then, you had to type in things, load things, blah, blah, blah. Now you click on a couple of things, but that takes more effort to create than anything else. So anyway, I was going to talk to you also about how to run a business. And I think that's very important because over these years, like I said, I started with my father, and he's a trained salesperson. Very old-fashioned in certain ways, so sometimes you don't get along very well sometimes. But when it comes to education, he taught me a lot of things: how to run a business, how to deal with employees, and also always be open to learning. Okay, don't ever think you know it all, and you need to be open to suggestions. And sometimes when somebody tells you something you don't like, the truth hurts. Sometimes you hear something, oh my God, I should have done this better. Learn from that lesson, okay? Because then that is actually an opportunity for you to improve upon and make it better next time and don't have the same thing happen.
What does ACT stand for?
It's Advanced Computer Technology.
Advanced Computer Technology. And do you hire any part-timers?
We do. We actually, right now, we have 2 interns. I just hired one, he's 16, very bright young man, he knows his stuff already. And we also have a 12-year-old there, he's just there for fun of it. Because his parents want him to learn something, and he knows his stuff too. Yeah.
So my cousin's really interested in computers. He's my age, and he's not out of high school yet, of course. No, he's been able to homebrew his Wii, his Nintendo DS, and even his iPod without jailbreaking it. I don't know how he does it. He's just a genius with this stuff.
Oh, look at that.
He wasn't able to, he did not jailbreak the iPod. iPod Touch, but he was able to get Android apps on there, Windows apps on there. And he tried to get me to do it with my Mac. I was like, yeah, no, I don't trust that.
Right.
But he is really interested in computer things, but he doesn't know what to do. He wants to get a job of some kind. What he was thinking is just house cleaning, because of where he lives. But I think he might enjoy IT things. Now, are there any requirements to be a part-timer? Because he doesn't have any degree or a driver's license or
Not really. I mean, just showing up in time and willing to learn, willing to pay attention, just like school. That's it.
Okay.
We actually had 2 success stories. One of my best friends right now, he came in when he was 16 years old.
I'm sorry, you asked me to put something on the.
Oh, don't worry about it. So he was 16 years old, and now he's running his own successful IT company in Jupiter. So he's now in his 30s, and he did it. And when he first started with me, he didn't know what he was going to do. No idea. He had more interest in fixing his Camaro every weekend than working on computers. But he worked it out. So anyway, don't always be open to suggestions, learn, don't be stubborn, and also be humble. Even if you achieve something in life, it's not a good thing to show it off, okay? Because first of all, it makes your employees ask for raises. You should pay them well, obviously, and you should always be nice to employees. But if you are a show-off and flash your Rolex and stuff like that, nobody likes that kind of thing. And that's especially true in my industry. We've seen that before. Especially dealing with employees. Employees, you have to think about when you're running your company, that's the lifeblood of your company. When I talk to a lot of seminars about business behavior and stuff like that, and what I learned is pay them well, give them good vacation, give them good benefits, and they will do work for you that's brilliant. And also, you cannot be a micromanager, like hovering around it, and asking questions all day long, because that will make them feel not welcome at all. So you give them a task, you follow up with them, bring it to me, and then they feel a sense of proud entitlement. Oh wow, I got this done, and then move on from there. Okay, that's very important. Now, what we do as an IT company, we do everything from building computers, done that since early days. We do everything when it comes to software programming. We do 3D printing. This is actually something I was going to talk to you about. And I was going fast here. I also brought some stuff with me you guys can have. These are all little 3D printed items, like keychains we made ourselves, because we have a really cool 3D printer. I don't know if your school has one, but you guys should get one. That's really cool.
Oh, I love 3D.
Anyway, so these are, I take these out a little bit here.
Have you met Mr. LaChance, our IT director here?
No, I haven't. So, these are like, little. This is toys.
Sir, do you have a business card that we can hand to him?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. These are all PLA. This is actually recycled plastic, so this is the same thing as the water bottle. And it holds up to outside UV and everything else, but you just asked me if it's, this gentleman just asked me about 3D printing, so I already know about it.
Yeah, is this a dual extruder?
It's, yeah, it is, and this is actually called a bamboo carbon printer, you might have seen it online.
Yeah.
All in one printer, it does everything, you basically set the printer up, it does it, so full color, yeah.
With this 3D printer that you've used, I've never seen them so smooth before.
The 3D printer?
Yeah, it's usually just like little lines.
Well, if the printer is getting better every year, I mean, this has been around for a while, and it does take a while still, but right now,
Oh, I can see them on the bottom, but the
if you go on our website, on our YouTube channel, it's on the ACT Computers, you can see us, we have a show called Tech Talk we do every week. And there you can see we actually printed a giant Zelda sword, a real sword, about this big.
Oh, Master Sword,
And
cool.
It took about a week, about 2 kilograms of PLA. That's almost solid. It makes a real, real sword. Amazing what you can do with it. But again, 3D printing is something you're gonna look into in the future. That's the manufacturing and the designing things. We are doing stuff now where we can designing things for our computers internally, also for customers. We just printed sample teeth dentures for dentists in town to show their clients how it's gonna look like. And that's coming from the scan. Really cool.
So my question to you is, first off, do you do home visits or not?
We do.
You do home visits.
We do home visits. We have a nice retail store.
What's the cost to come out to a home?
Coming out to the home is $129 an hour. We're at $129,
Uh-huh.
and in the shop it's $99 because we also have a real big storefront with retail and
And then how would you say you compare to Best Buy's Geek Squad coming out to your house? We share with them because.
Well, it's
What's that?
Yeah, the Geek Squad is generally known for being hiring very inexperienced technicians, let's say it like that. I experienced people like that myself that I tried hiring in the past. So basically, they do also very basic things. They're very strict on what they can do legally to work in computer without the insurance requirements. So we do everything from computers down to board level repair. And we've experienced techs and all that stuff. We have people working with us for 25 years, 30 years. And so we are kind of like a Best Buy on a smaller scale, but I always say we know what we're doing. We also actually have more parts and stuff.
So if someone absolutely forgets their password
Yeah.
to get into, say, their iPad,
Right.
and there's no source to go find them, they can bring their iPad to you
We can reset it.
and you can reset it. Why can't they reset it themselves? Why do they make these things where
Well,
they make it to where they can't reset
Apple
it?
especially has gone, way more secure than anybody else. Sometimes it requires a lot more intervention, but it's some external tools that the end user doesn't have. But everything's getting more secure, encrypted and everything else. I mean, there's certain types also you can't unlock, it's just the way it is. And you have to actually send it back to Apple or take it to an Apple store. But mostly PCs, we can pretty much get into anything. time we can. But there's lots of things like that. That's actually one of the most common things we do with unlock things. Machines locking up, viruses, spyware. We deal with a lot of cybersecurity in town. We work with a couple of banks in town to help them with their customers when they get hacked and they lose money because they let somebody in the machine scam them. That's very common now. And sadly, they're really focusing on the elderly demographic here because, you know, they just have to pick up the phone and say, yeah, and then let them in. Not a good thing. I know we might be running out of time, but.
No, you're not running out of time yet.
Yep.
So, when I worked for the city of Melbourne before coming here last year, the city of Melbourne was getting cyber attacked at a rate of about 1,000 times a day.
Mhm.
Do you know how it is with Vero Beach, the city
quite a bit.
government?
Quite a bit too. I mean, it has gotten better, the awareness has been much better. Want to say something?
No, I have a question. Sure.
Yeah, let me finish this sentence. Cybersecurity in itself is very, very important. I got 2 guys on my staff who do that full time, okay? And you don't hear that many times until it happens, where you get a crypto virus that basically encrypts the entire hard drive, and then it encrypts your backups, and then it asks you to pay for it, to unlock it. Worst thing you do, pay for it. And many times, the only way to get your data back is by restoring to the backup that's been disconnected or offsite. So we always preach to everybody, back up multiple times, online, external hard drive. And now it's easy, we don't have floppies anymore on tape drives, so there's no excuse to do it, okay? It's just sometimes people aren't educated about it. Yep.
So, of those external drives, which one do you recommend is the best for backing up a large thing on a computer?
Well, it's always, you know, external hard drives are the best source to back up, but also cloud backup. That's, I mean, that you don't have to worry about so much. But no backup's permanent, so I always think backing up many different sources, and then keep backing up to many different things. I mean, like 10 years ago or 15 years ago when CD drives came out, DVDs, everybody thought, oh, backing up to DVD is the way to go, and it wasn't, because all of a sudden they started delaminating, and then you know. But cybersecurity, very, very important. It's also a very good field to go in. You can make good money in that. It's just gonna get worse, honestly. It's just gonna get more and more and more because of home automation. You know, your dishwasher is gonna be online, your whole house is online, so somebody has to take care of that, because the end user just plugs it in and forgets about it. So that's where you come in and make sure this stuff works. Because everybody starts panicking when they can't get to the internet anymore. Because now it's you need to have it every day. Also very important, I think I need to talk about that a little bit.
I'm sorry, sir, but
Yeah.
could you, before,
Sure, yeah,
could you
go for it.
have?
So what kind of experience do people you hire have?
Normally, it depends what we hire, but normally it's 5 years experience in the field, actually, and but when we hear that somebody has experience at home and learned it and it's a hobby, for us that's the best thing. Honestly, I really don't care about degrees. I don't care. Might be controversial in that sense, but I'd rather hire somebody who has grown up with this, like 6 years old, like I did, and it's their hobby, that's what they like to do, because then they really invested into making that their life. And, you know, that's worth more than anything to me. One thing I was gonna tell you too, is also about technologies coming out, is probably all heard about ChatGPT here, right? AI, artificial intelligence. And that's another field to get into. We actually saw, you know, a big scare in the market saying, oh wow, we're all gonna lose our jobs, AI is gonna do everything for us, we just don't have to get out of bed in the morning, everything's done for us. And that's not the way it is. You have to think about AI as like check spelling on a computer. Now, I grew up, we didn't have check spelling. That came about, some people were saying, oh my God, we're not gonna have a secretary anymore in the office to check your spelling. No, you're doing something else now. You know? So with AI, it's amazing the technology has risen on, and when I saw this last year, we did an early demo before everybody else did, I immediately realized this is the next thing that's coming. I think more important than many other inventions that came before that. This is going to revolutionize everything. The way you can write information now, sometimes I don't know what to post. It runs through ChatGPT, it puts something out that's actually quite good. You can write contracts.
How do you get Chat GPT?
ChatGPT is done by OpenAI, it's a company. You can sign up for it online, it's free. You can ask a whole bunch of questions.
Just search it up.
That's made by Microsoft and, Elon Musk. The other one is Bing. Bing has one too. That's Microsoft. There's also Bard. which is
So if I have a laptop computer that is Microsoft driven, I should go to Microsoft GPT?
Doesn't matter which one you go to, but you can go from your phone to whatever you want. But to give you an example, just when I saw this, with my wife, I played a joke on her. I said, you know what? Look, there's somebody talking to you on the computer. And she was chatting with the computer. And it felt like somebody was really chatting with her. And then I asked the computer, hey, can you please write me a song? And it wrote me a song about a certain topic. And I said, can you please change that to my wife's Vietnamese? Change it to Vietnamese. It did it perfectly. Change it to German. It did it perfectly. I know. And so all these different things that you think about what it can do automatically is amazing. So it's really mind blowing.
And someone built this artificial intelligence line from line, code for code, coding line for line.
Hundreds of dollars.
Yeah, it is kind of like that. But you have to think about it. There were so many different approaches to get AI to the point it is now. Some didn't work out at all. But this basically is a model of the brain. This is like a visualization of the brain structure, and it learns just like a baby does. Like, growing up does. The more information you feed the system, the more it works, the more it can do. So there also lies the thing in the future that everybody's scared of. What's going to happen in 10 years once it really learns a lot of things, But anyway, keep that in mind for AI. They are hiring everywhere for AI researchers. Microsoft hired a whole bunch of people, and that's going to be the future right there. I really think so. AI and 3D printing.
Do you think, I'm sorry to overcome the conversation, my last question, because I know Brianna wants to ask a question. Do you think there's ever gonna be a time that we will be able to take a computer or take a GPT and actually plug something into our brain? And, because I heard that we only use like 15-20% of our brain.
Yeah.
And fill it in with what's on that computer into your brain and
Yeah.
process accordingly?
Well,
Do
the
you think
only-
that could ever happen in the long-term future?
Well,
We do not use 20% of our brain, we use our brain, that's
Do you use all of our brain?
yes.
That's not true.
That is,
It is true. They taught me that in the anatomy class. It's because the brain does stuff that we don't have control over. Like they do heart rate, blood
10%
pumping
of our,
around.
we use
All of
our
it.
brain.
Yeah.
Well, I met some people that.
Maybe 100%. I don't use it.
But to answer your question about ChatGPT, about having something that's augmented in the future, like when you watch Star Trek, it's all the war, running around, it's not gonna be like this. But we're talking about something like Neuralink from
Neuralink,
Yeah.
okay. Uh-huh.
That was used with the
Same thing.
pigs and the monkeys. The pigs and the monkeys, they monitored their emotion through that way.
Yeah, well, basically, they just, I think they just approved human trials for that. Basically, it's implants to get rid of some neurological diseases and fix certain things in the body. And of course, that can also be then used to, add more information to you. So it might be in the future that you're not carrying around your cell phone anymore, that it's part of you. That's, I think, the idea. That's what's gonna happen.
They're trying to make like interfaces like you wear them on your face, and you don't have to like do anything.
Right.
Oh,
I
like
mean,
the
it all
AR
sounds
stuff?
scary and spooky. I won't be around for that, thank God. But, that's the future right there, if anybody adopts it or not, but you also have to think about the implications. You really want to be connected to everybody, that's not maybe a good thing. I think for the medical field, that has a lot of potential.
Oh, yes.
And they've shown that for like Parkinson's disease and stuff like that,
Mhm.
to basically get some electricity in certain areas to stimulate the brain to change your behavior. So that's really cool, but I don't think we have to worry about it right now. That's coming down the line.
Alright.
Anyway, I encourage everybody to really think about IT. I'm open to anything that, you know, you guys wanna call the shop or talk to me, you can email us. You can find us at ACT Computers, just Google that, we're the first one up there. Also on YouTube, if you go to ACT Computers, we have a tech talk, like I said earlier, it's a professional done show every week, we talk about technology. And we talk about 3D printing and all that stuff. And we just expand that quite a bit. But, any other questions? Yeah?
Do you have a pretty 3D printing lab available for people to come in and print their own
We're
thing?
trying to start. We actually, we started that last year, but we didn't have much of a reception for that. But we are, our storefront, we have about 2,000 square foot open that we can use for basically a classroom. We can actually arrange tables and you know, we have like 40 chairs, so we're actually thinking about that, having classes like that for free, you know, just to get started. Anyway, anything else?
Yeah, let me just, for the record, I'm only looking at medical news today,
No?
and Carolina is more right, in the sense that it says, we use most of our brain, we certainly don't use just 10%, we use most of our brain, but there's still a lot of research to be done. But we don't use all of it, but we use most of it, is what
Everybody was wrong.
medical news today says.
But yeah, anybody wants the rest of these, I'll leave them here. We're printing a lot more stuff every day.
Is this gonna, if I put this in my card, is it gonna melt?
Don't put alcohol.
Wait, that doesn't melt. These don't melt anymore. And
Yeah,
this-
these don't melt, Michelle.
And this is,
Alright,
It's
so
like the
I will
plastic.
give bonus points if Brianna asked an incredibly,
That was my incredibly great question.
incredibly ACT connected question
Is this gonna
in
melt?
10 seconds.
now, if you put it in the microwave, yes, I don't think we'll
I don't think I'm gonna put it in the microwave.
That's why.
Tasty.
That wasn't my plan.
Say you make a card for it.
PTEG, I believe. Yeah. So this is the same as a water bottle, basically, but it's recycled. We have all the colors. You can put it in wood filament too, make it look like wood. Carbon fiber, with a really strong fiber.
So could you like,
UPLA
buy,
is
you
like
like,
made
you
of-
build,
it's
like,
like
personally
plant-based.
bigger, like a card to you and.
The largest,
Right.
one more second.
Yeah.
The largest we can
It's
print
like a
is
big
about
spool, and it has like-
one square like this,
It
or
looks
like
like a
that,
wire
and
almost.
which will take a long time, but you can connect things
Yeah.
together.
So I have heard about 3D printing biodegradable things for seeds and things. I know that, I don't know what the name of the company is, but somebody out there 3D printed a cast that's breathable, but they're just incredibly expensive. So do you think there would be a time when 3D printing won't be as expensive as it is now?
Yeah, I mean, right now, to answer your question about this printer, this printer is about $1,500, okay? That's cheap, what it can do, it's amazing. We had printers before that were like a kit put together, and they were like $150, but they were so much maintenance to keep running, you have to stand it all day long and watch it. This one is all inclusive, you know, does everything.
Did you 3D print your badge?
Yep. Got to.
Good job. Okay. That's very sweet.
But so many applications you gotta think about. They're building houses now, they're 3D printing houses. That's the next thing right there. Yeah.
Do you think it would be possible to 3D print replacement
Alright,
body
I'm gonna have to
parts?
stop, I'm
Like
sorry.
organs or something?